Hi, I'm Elizabeth Hurley, and I'm going to talk to you today about cooperative learning. So, what is cooperative learning? Cooperative learning is when students support each other to succeed. Their goals for working together is to make sure that everyone is learning, and everyone's success depends on everyone else working together toward the same goal. So, in cooperative learning, it's different than group learning. Everyone is learning in cooperative learning. In group learning, that's not necessarily always the case. Sometimes a group can turn into a product, but not everyone necessarily is learning. So the main difference between cooperative and competitive learning is how students base their success. In competitive learning, there's an automatic winner and a loser. In cooperative learning, there's positive interdependence. So as long as everyone's working together to learn, then they're automatically winning. So there are 5 basic elements to cooperative learning: positive interdependence, individual and group accountability, interpersonal and small group skills, face-to-face interaction, and group processing. So it's important to build a classroom environment that involves rooting for other members in our teams. Notice we're using the word team instead of group. We want them to work together as one. So some ways we can structure that in our classrooms is to establish the mutual goal, which is everyone's learning. Another way to encourage working interdependently in a positive way is to give joint. So the key component in helping students be successful is to make sure they know what they're going to be held accountable for and to assess the quality of their work. Make sure the students know exactly what they're responsible for at the beginning of each lesson, and then make sure you're circulating as they're working so you can monitor their contribution and then do checks for understanding. Make sure that you pick someone randomly in each group to make sure that they're on the right track and everyone's working together. So in order to do this, we need to have collaborative skills, and this isn't something that we're born with. So they need to be modeled frequently and they need to be practiced. A lot of things with team building activities can help lay the foundation for this behavior. Additionally, when the tasks are in the group are planned purposely and with weighted descriptors and DL modifications in mind, everyone can feel that they have an equal opportunity to contribute. So group processing is when we give students time to reflect upon their team's work. They need to assess their own teams by asking, did the group achieve their goals? How are we successful? What do we need to improve on for the next task? And teachers also need to monitor this and ask for feedback. So now that we've gone over this, what exactly does it look like? Well, if you want your teams to do an activity, they need to know exactly what you're asking them to do. Post the learning target for the day and outline how this is going to be achieved. One method I like using is by posting the what we are doing, how we are doing it, and why we're doing it each day. I think it's equally important to share the I do, we do, and you do in a lesson. When this is on the whiteboard, everyone knows what the day is going to look like and how we're going to meet our learning target. Make sure that your expectations are clear and they're posted in student-friendly language in your classroom. I find that having students come up with the rules and guidelines makes for more of a buy-in, and I also think that when they come up with consequences for behavior, they're more harsh than adults would be. So you want to guide them to have realistic expectations. I would also advise turning this into a classroom contract and having everyone sign it. So in order for teams to work together, they need to know their responsibilities and jobs. Every student needs to know that their ultimate responsibility is to make sure everyone on their team is learning. But everyone needs to know what their individual responsibilities are, how they can fulfill these, and why these need to be fulfilled. When students know this, they can see how their success is interdependent with others in the group. For jobs, be as specific as possible so they know what to do, and make sure that you switch jobs with every task. This will enable them to work on different skills and to help each other if more than one member is struggling with the job. Ensure your students' success in cooperative learning through heterogeneous grouping. Ideally, teams should have 4 members with different levels in each group. Make sure that you have students choose a name and have them do an icebreaker and team building activities. This helps them transform from a group to a team. Now, if you're asking yourself, won't the higher level students do all the work and a lot of ELLs and diverse learners sit back and let them do it? Well, that's an awesome question, and that is where the teacher support comes in. Monitor each team member's contributions while circulating with random checks for understanding for different group members. Reward them for collaborative behaviors and for working interdependently. Show them how high-level learners benefit from this type of grouping in addition to ELLs and DLs excelling from this type of grouping. Show them this before you even start working and make sure they can see and feel the benefits of heterogeneous grouping. Additionally, teacher support is key to having successful cooperative learning in your classroom. Circulate during team time. Make sure students are on task and provide a lot of praise for collaborative skills. Additionally, motivate your students with rewards and incentives. Ask the students for feedback about what they would like to change or add to the task and lessons. Help them find out the best ways in which they learn so you can use those along with WIDA descriptors to make the lessons and tasks more meaningful and impactful. So some activities you can try for cooperative learning are think, pair, share, inside-outside circles, jigsaw, four corners, and three-step interviews along with placement activities. And lastly, one thing to consider in using cooperative learning in your classroom is to make sure everyone from your English language learners and diverse learners to the kids who seem to excel in everything they touch is to incorporate multiple intelligences into your activities. Have each student create a learning profile at the beginning of the year to help them determine which way they learn best. Use this knowledge to add a variety of learning activities within cooperative learning. This helps for students to believe that they can be successful. So, this is my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, and please email me if you have any questions. Thanks.